What's up, everybody? This video is going to be a little bit different than my normal videos here. Today, we're going to talk about options. We're going to go over all of the basics. I'm going to tell you how I like to use options in my portfolio. And to give you an example, I'm going to tell you about an options contract that I entered into today. If you follow the channel, you know that I like to buy companies that I think are significantly undervalued, that I think are offering excellent risk reward. I want to buy companies that I think have a ton of upside and have acceptable downside risk. I'm not into flipping stocks or day trading, and I'm not into trading options either. Now, perhaps before we get into all of it, we should probably talk about what is an option. We're just going to be talking about puts and calls. There are a couple other weird types of options like binary options, but pretty much the only type of options that any investor will ever have to worry about are a put and a call. All the fancy dancy option strategies that you've heard of, like a strangle or a butterfly or anything like that, those are just combinations of puts and calls. And these basic building blocks, a put and a call, they're really not that complicated. When you buy a call or when you go long a call option, you are purchasing the right but not the obligation to buy a stock at a certain price by a certain date. That's it. Now, let me give you an example with some specific numbers so we can see what buying a call really means for your money. Let's say there's a stock and the price today is $100 a share and you think it's going to go up pretty quickly. Let's say you want the option to buy this stock anytime for the next 3 months at $110 a share. The strike price, the price that you want the option to buy this stock at, that's going to be $110. The expiration date of this option is, let's say, 3 months into the future. And the amount that you have to pay to buy this option, that is called the premium. And let's just say hypothetically in this example that the premium is $10. You paid $10 a share for this option. Now, options contracts are actually on bundles of 100 shares each, but let's not worry about that right now. We're just looking per share. You're paying $10 per share for this option. If the price never moves up like you think, if it stays, around $100 or it's just below $110 a share, then at the expiration date, this option is going to expire worthless. It's going to be worth nothing at expiration. So your loss at the expiration date is going to be that premium you paid. You paid this premium, you paid $10 and you got nothing. On the other hand, let's say that the stock price at expiration is $120 a share. You have the option to buy it at $110. So if the stock is at $120 and you have the option to buy at $110, then the option is going to be worth $10 at expiration. The option is worth $10, but you had to pay $10 a while ago to buy that option. You had to pay that $10 premium. So this would be your break even. Now, in the scenario you're hoping for, let's say the price of this stock goes up a lot. Let's say it goes up even all the way to $150 a share at expiration. Since you have the option to buy it at $110 a share, that option at expiration is going to be worth $40, the difference between $150 and $110. So the stock price moved up 50% over this time from 100 to 150, but when you bought the option, this call buyer here, they quadrupled their money. They paid $10 for the option premium, but the option ended up being worth $40. As you might have guessed, a put option is in many ways the mirror image of a call. A put option gives the buyer the option to sell a stock at a certain strike price by a certain date. Again, you have to pay some money for this right. That's still the premium. The strike price, the price that you agree to sell at by some later date, that's the strike price. In this case, though, if you're buying a put, you make money if the price drops. If you've bought the option to sell a stock at, say, a $100 strike price, and let's say that by the expiration date of this option, the stock price dropped all the way down to $60 a share, let's say, then this option at expiration would be worth $40. You have the right to sell the stock at $100, but it's trading on the open market at $60. So the first thing you probably notice that I'm sure everyone notices when they learn about options is you can make a massive amount of money very quickly if you somehow bet the right way. In our hypothetical call option example, the buyer of this call 4x'd their money. And honestly, the allure of these massive potential profits to people can sometimes blind you to the risk that's involved here. Going back to this call option example, if the price of the stock didn't move up or just it didn't move up by your expiration date, your option expired worthless. You lost 100% of your investment. When you buy a stock, you're just betting that the price is going to move up at some point. You can wait and wait. The price can move against you for a year or more. If you're confident in your thesis, that's okay. When you buy an option, you not only need to be right about the direction that a stock will move, you also need to be right about the time in which it's going to make that move. I accept that I have no special ability to predict when a stock is going to, go to the moon, shoot up, or when the market is going to crash or anything like that. I don't know. No one can consistently predict short-term moves, so don't think of options as lottery tickets. Lots of options expire worthless. And you can go long options, you can buy options as part of a balanced, diversified investment strategy, but a lot of investors who are just buying puts and calls, they're betting on short-term moves, and in many cases, they're going to lose 100% of that option premium. Options are a type of derivative contract because their value is derived from some underlying asset. In our case, it's a stock, so don't miss the forest for the trees. The heart of investing, or at least the heart of my investment strategy, is finding undervalued companies. Stocks that I think are offering excellent risk reward. Options are a tool we can use to move in and out of these positions. But if you never touch options in your entire life, if you just buy stocks that you think are deeply undervalued, you will do totally fine. You do not ever have to buy or sell options to have excellent results in the stock market. In fact, the way I see many people use options, I think they're just adding risk and adding leverage. So with all that said, here is how I like to use options. I'm rarely the person buying the option. I'm rarely the person going long a call or long a put. I have on a couple occasions gone long a call, but normally I am the option seller. I will sell puts and I will sell covered calls. And I just want to emphasize again, this is not the core of my investment strategy. This is like the icing on the cake. The cake is the underlying positions, the equities that I own. That's the heart of this. But I like to use options to move in and out of positions. And I'm going to give you an example of a put contract that I sold today, August 18th. Although by the time you see this video, I guess that won't be the day anymore. The underlying asset here is Molina Healthcare stock, ticker symbol MOH. If you've seen my recent video on Molina, you know that I think the risk reward is very good for this company right now. And if you follow the channel, you know that I'm very bullish on the healthcare sector in general. I think these health insurance companies have sold off a massive amount. I think they're pretty much all undervalued right now. I own a number of names in the space, but as of today, I don't own Molina stock. I would like to enter a position. I could just buy the stock here at about $170 a share. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if I can, I'd like to get a better price and I'd like to be paid a little bit to wait. So I sold a put earlier today that expires September 19th, so about a month from now. It's at a strike price of $175, and I sold it for a premium of about $12 earlier today. The person, or more likely institution, that bought this put, they are buying the option to sell Molina stock at $175 by September 19th. So because I'm the option seller here, they have the right to sell Molina stock at $175 a share to me. So I may have the obligation to buy Molina stock at $175 a share. Now, I did collect a $12 per share premium on this, so that's in my pocket right now. Effectively, my cost basis on Molina stock will be $175 minus 12. So $163 a share. I can show you visually what my profit loss here is going to look like at various stock prices. So I sold a put option at a strike price of $175, and it was a $12 premium. And let's just say we're at expiration. So I'm going to set days to expiry to 0. On September 19th, if Molina stock is $175 a share or higher, I will just have collected this $12 a share premium for nothing. That would be roughly a 7% return on my money in just a month. I don't think anyone would complain about that. And if Molina stock is below $175 a share on September 19th, then the left side of this orange line, this is effectively the same thing, the same payoff that I would get if I bought Molina stock at $163, which is just $175 minus the $12 premium I got. For me, I would like to own Molina stock, and I think $163 a share is a great price. In my base case on Molina at $163 a share, I would be looking at 20% return on this investment every year for 5 years if my base case comes true. Again, if you want more info on this, you can go watch my video on Molina stock on my channel. I would never recommend selling a put on a stock that you do not want to own. Options are just a tool to help your investment. This is a method for me to just get paid to wait. Now, just to clarify, because we've pretty much just been talking about per share numbers this whole time, like my premium, it's $12. That's $12 per share here. When you buy or sell an option contract, each contract is on 100 shares. So if you were the buyer of this put contract at that $175 strike price that expires in September, it wouldn't cost you $12. It would cost you $12 per share. And since the contract is on 100 shares, 12 times 100, that's $1,200. Similarly, for every contract I sell here, I'm getting $1,200. I actually sold 2 contracts here, so the premium that I collected was just about $2,400. But I have to be prepared to buy 200 shares worth of Molina stock at $175 a share, or $163 a share net when you take into account the premium that I got. So for a lot of investors, selling puts might not be practical, but again, this is just the icing. The heart is buying stocks. If you just buy Molina stock today and you just forget all about options, all about selling puts, anything like that, you're going to do fine. I just want to repeat that because people think that options are some kind of magic or they're some next level, and learning about stocks, that's just maybe level 1, but once you learn about options, then you can really make money. That's not true at all. I want to break that illusion for you right here. Options are just a tool. Nothing here, by the way, is a recommendation to buy or sell Molina stock or buy and sell any option. I'm just letting you know how I use these things. If you're getting value out of the video, subscribe to the channel. Now, as a value investor, there is one other fairly common way that I like to use options to manage my portfolio. So we've already looked at selling put options, which is something I like to do when I'm looking to enter a position, but I want to be paid to wait. Maybe I want to wait for a better price, and I want to make a little bit of a return on my cash while I wait for it to reach the price that I want. The flip side of that coin is when I'm looking to exit a position or looking to trim a position, you could just sell the stock. That's totally fine, but you could also sell a covered call. So let's talk about how a covered call would work. It's now Tuesday morning. I had to deal with some other stuff last night, but let's continue with covered calls and talk about how I might use them to exit a position. I'm going to use the example of Kohl's. If you follow the channel, you know that I own Kohl's stock. I was buying very aggressively from $6 to $9 a share. My average price on this is just over $8 a share. At that price, I thought Kohl's, in my opinion, was undervalued. It was looking like deep value, actually, to me. The stock price has gone up quite a bit rather quickly. I still think it looks undervalued. My bull thesis hasn't really changed, but keep in mind, Kohl's is a low quality company. I own a lot of companies in my portfolio that I consider excellent businesses, very high quality companies, and Kohl's just isn't one of them. There's a lot of pressure to the underlying business. Same store sales are decreasing slightly. If you want to know why I own the thing, actually hearing all of this, you can go watch my past videos on Kohl's. The holding has grown to be a larger holding in my portfolio simply because the price has gone up. I want a lot of margin of safety with a low quality company like this. So maybe I would decide that at $20 a share, I want to exit some of my position. I want to trim my position down. What I could do to be paid while I wait is I could sell a call on Kohl's stock at a $20 strike price at some later date. If I use an October 17th expiration date as an example, let me make this a little bit bigger. You see here a ton of strike prices for various call options. And if I scroll down, you'll also see put options too. And you're also going to see the prices, the premium prices in per share dollar amounts. We can see the last price that certain calls have been sold at. And typically, if you look, you're going to see a bid and ask price as well. It's early in the trading day. So on Yahoo Finance, early in the trading day, these actually don't show up, but that's okay. We're going to come down here and we're going to look at the $20 strike price as an example. If I decided that at $20 a share, I wanted to trim some of my position, well, if I sell a call, what's going to happen is the person who buys the call, remember, they are buying the right to buy Kohl's stock at $20 a share by this date, October 17th. So when I sell a call, when I short a call here, I will have the obligation to sell to them at $20 a share. But I decided I was going to sell a bit at $20 a share anyway. So if they just pay me 63 cents a share to wait, you are just collecting this premium. You're putting this in your pocket right now to wait and potentially trim your position later at a price that you are okay selling at. This is called a covered call because I own the underlying stock. If I didn't own the underlying stock and I was just doing what you might call naked shorting call options here, I was selling call options without owning the underlying stock, then I would be taking a massive risk. If Kohl's stock shot up before this expiration date, if it shot up to, let's say $40 a share, I can be obligated to sell at 20. If I own the underlying stock, that's no problem. I have the underlying stock to sell to them. But if I don't own the underlying stock, how would I sell a share of it at 20? I would have to get it on the open market at 40. Effectively, I would be losing $20 a share, and the only thing I would have to show for it is this 60-some cent premium that I pocketed. That is a massive risk. Now, getting back to covered calls, for me, again, this is not the core of my investing strategy. Some people think covered calls are a cheat code to make a ton of income. They really are not. When you sell a covered call, you are selling potential upside on the stock. In our example, if I sell this covered call on Kohl's at $20 a share, then I am missing out on all the upside above $20 a share for the portion of the position that I'm selling this covered call on. If I don't want to sell some of my position at that price, then normally I'm just not looking to sell a covered call. For example, I own UNH. I'm not looking to sell a covered call on UNH at, $320 strike price or something like that, because I don't want to sell UNH at $320. That's not a fit for my investing strategy. It might work for someone else, but I don't want to sell off my potential upside here. Now, I should point out again that call contracts, like put contracts, they are on bundles of 100 shares. If you want to sell a covered call on UNH, you have to own at least 100 shares of UNH. So again, for some investors, this might not be practical, but also to reiterate, you don't have to worry about any of this to have great returns. Now, going back to our Kohl's example, it looks like we now have bid and ask prices on Yahoo Finance for our October 17th call at a $20 strike price. The bid and ask prices are 57 cents and 66 cents. So if you wanted to sell this covered call right now, you could likely sell it for somewhere between 57 and 66 cents per share, which in terms of contracts, that would be $57 to $66 per contract. This is a rather high premium right now, and that's because Kohl's is a very volatile stock. The market is pricing in the potential for an aggressive up or down move here. The metric that measures the potential up or down move that the market is pricing in based on these option prices, that's the implied volatility, which for this particular option we're looking at is right about 97%. Now, you don't have to worry about what that exact number means. It's an annualized measurement of a potential up or down move that is reflected by the market's price of this option. If you're looking at options prices on very volatile companies, or you're looking at options around, earnings or some event where you might expect the stock price to move a lot, then the implied volatility is going to be higher. For perhaps an extremely stable company, maybe like a utility, and it's not around earnings or anything, you might be looking at an implied volatility of 20%. And then in extreme cases, you can see implied volatilities of 100% or much more. I wouldn't overly focus on this number too much. For me, I'm looking at, 60-some cent premium. The stock price right now is about 14 bucks. You're able to pocket an additional 4-ish% today to sell this call. And in exchange, you are trading off some of your potential upside. So you can think about a covered call as selling this extreme right tail, this upside potential for a certain percentage of your position today. And you just have to decide, do you think that that fits your investment strategy? And that's really it. That's how I use options. I sell puts sometimes to enter positions. I sell covered calls sometimes to exit positions. As a value investor, I don't think you have to concern yourself too much with all these other option strategies that combine different puts and calls in various ways. So like a butterfly or a straddle or a strangle. To me, for my investment strategy, they aren't that useful. There are quite a number of things about options that we have not talked about in this video, but I really think that I've hit all the big picture points that I find important in my investments. So if you got value out of the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if there's something else you wish I would cover. And as always, I hope to see you all in another video.